This is amazing. um, Ever since I was small, younger, I always knew there's something more. And that's the journey that has gotten me here. Um, my question would be, how would you tap into the full potential of the power of now? Because sometimes I feel like I have
By being
experience.
in alignment with Source.
Yes, with Source. And
'Cause you can't avoid now.
yeah.
There it is again. You can't avoid now, but you do have a choice of being tapped in or not. And so how you do it is by first being aware of what it feels like when you are and what it feels like when you're pinching it off a little bit. And then caring about how you feel and practicing what feels best until you've got the hang of it.
Okay. Because sometimes I feel like I want to slow time down to experience it fully. Is that a lack? To slow it down to feel it more?
Well, one of the things that happens as you play with this more and are more consciously, deliberately finding the vibration that has no wobble in it early on, what happens is as the momentum, that non-resisted momentum, in other words, if there's resistance in momentum, it's this. So there's wobble, 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 and therefore less alignment and less ability to perceive. But when you are in alignment, our friend used the word pure or clean. When you are in alignment, and so there's no wobble in your vibration, what happens is your capacity to explore in the moments in which you are living becomes more. You simply realize more. And when you realize more, all of the moving parts are understood. They're understandable. So there is a greater capacity to savor. Not just because more and more wonderful things are coming. There have been wonderful things around you all along. It's your capacity to connect with them, to feel them, to know them, to understand them, to be them. Esther was walking through the garden in Del Mar the other day and fixated on a plant. Now, it was small. It's a succulent. And it looks a little bit like a cabbage. It's mostly pinks and reds and burgundies. And it was about the size of her hands when it was planted. But it's been there for 2 or 3 years. But it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's right on the edge of the path. It's right there where she first takes her step onto the path that weaves down into the gardens. And so she has seen it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. But the other day, after deliberate alignment, she stepped out and she looked at it and she thought, my God, you are so beautiful. And she just stood there, and the expression, I want to feast my eyes on you, came into her mind. It was like now there's an ocean out there she could look at. There's a surf that she can see. There are beautiful trees, several olive trees that have been brought in, endless succulents and plants, so much potential for her to enjoy. Feast your eyes, just feasting her eyes on that, receiving so much satisfaction from the particle of the universe that she chose to focus upon. It wasn't its beauty that got her. It was her alignment and her increased capacity to see beauty. You see what we're getting at? It's the increasing your capacity to realize that you're talking about. And that's what alignment does for you. It slows things down. It gives you an opportunity to savor. You don't miss anything. You see those movies where everything goes into slow motion? Slow motion, so that you just have the opportunity to examine it all more. That's what seeing the world through the eyes of Source is like. Your capacity to understand beauty and love and well-being. That's what you're reaching for. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. And I had a question about love. And finding, well, you could say, I'm 20 years old, but I'm young. But I
You
was
have no idea how old you are.
I do. I feel like I'm an old soul, and when I talk to people, they're like, "You're young. Stop talking like that." And this is fun. I like this, and I was actually on the cruise, and when I got on the cruise, my intentions were fun. Just to let go and just to
talk to us about love, or. Well, would you rather chat it up about love? Or would you rather feel love? Would you rather sit with someone and feel love for them? Indescribable, indefinable love. Or would you rather say, love is like petals on a rose, and love is like music in my ears, and love is like the rippling of a brook, and love is like the wings of a dove? Would you rather try to describe love in ways that you cannot possibly do it justice? Or would you like to just find vibrational alignment with source and feast your eyes on someone? That's what love is. That's that emotion of all of you present in the now. Yeah.
I've always had a difficult time explaining those feelings because they're
That's what we just said.
Yeah,
that's what we just said.
Exactly.
Give it up.
And give it up.
Give it up. Don't try to. First of all, it's as you just said. Most of the people that you're trying to explain it to are on an entirely different wavelength anyway, and they can't hear you. And then you just get frustrated because you can't make them feel what you feel with the words that you're offering. Well, that's because you're out here in the twilight zone, out here in the wobble zone, out here in the conditional zone. There's too much going on. What you want to do is just get right there, get source enveloped within you, and then just radiate a vibration that is recognizable by anyone in the vicinity.
So is that how you share it? Because I've always...
Those were the exact words that we were about to say. And share, that is the way you share the love. It's power of influence. And one who's tuned in, tapped in, turned on, more powerful than millions who aren't. So when you find it and practice it and get there easily and often so that it is who you are, then like your inner being who always stays there, eventually you just stumble into it, and others will too. It's like if you're always there, doesn't it seem logical that the odds of rendezvousing with more and more people, if sometimes you're there and sometimes they're not, then you're there, they're not, then they're there, you're not, then you're there, they're not, then you are, then they're, and so, but if you're always there, then they're not, they are. And there you are. They're all over the place. They've got problems, they've got issues, they've got trouble, but you're right there. Bam! That's what your inner being does. Your inner being always stays right there. Your inner being is always right there. So there you are. What was that? Felt like love. Felt really good. Felt like clarity. What's that? That's creation by default. Just sort of blundering around and occasionally finding connection and saying, oh, what condition caused that? Well, I was standing over here and the moon was over there and you said, and then you brought me flowers, but now you don't bring me flowers anymore, do you? You don't bring me flowers anymore. You practiced a lot of fun on that cruise.
Oh yeah, I met amazing. Because I went by myself. Everybody's like, okay, you're going on a cruise to Alaska, so you're going with your family? I'm like, no, I'm going by myself. They're like, but you're crazy. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna go have fun, experience new things, talk to new people. I met amazing people. They were like brothers, and it was.
Also, you did go with your family. We're out of time here.
Well, my just last little piece would be, I'm just deeply appreciative of everything. So, I mean, that's really it. That's all life is about. It's just about loving and experiencing
And
and
can you
sharing
feel how,
that love.
what's happening to you here? You're a very talkative person.
Yeah.
And
myself out there.
and really good with your words. Articulate, accurate, a really good teacher, a good presenter, a good philosopher, a good guide, articulator. These are the words that describe you really well. But can you feel what's happening to you? You're tapping into this energy, and the words feel less necessary. And we want you all to recognize that so many of the words that feel important are you trying to talk yourself out of trouble. You're trying to fix something with your words that when you're in alignment just feel less necessary. Don't they?
Yes.
Doesn't it just feel, you just don't have to say so much when you're in alignment, because the entire universe is just presenting things for you to feast your eyes on. Thoughts of interest and people that are beautiful and rendezvous that where you're all in an exaggerated, heightened state of well-being. That's the way life is supposed to be. Nothing less will do for you. That's who you are. Good time for a segment of reflection.